Yo, 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 what up, everybody?
Hi.
Good
How's everybody doing tonight?
Thanks for coming on short notice, Nicole.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to start to think that we're like lying about having our exorcist on and that it's just a way to get people to cycle into the show now.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint anyone. You're not going to see her tonight.
No, but so she is out of state currently, and she was affected by the storms, so she has no power, internet where she is currently. So she unfortunately can't make it on the show tonight once again. But Tuesday was my fault.
Why was it your fault?
Because I canceled the show on Tuesday.
Why?
I was having a mental health episode. Like, bro, like, you know why I called it off.
The show. Why are you grilling Kat already?
No shit.
Why not?
Because
I was having a bad day that day, like a really bad day. So we decided that it was best just to cancel the show.
I mean, if inflation isn't enough, now we still.
Well, and no, that wasn't my mental health day. No, I canceled on Tuesday. Damn it, I just outed myself from the last time. No, it was because of voting.
Oh, now I see the comments. Okay.
We'll stick back to the mental health.
No, that was the episode before, I guess, since it's out there. I was having a bad mental health day, so we canceled the episode. Do something. I was taking care of my mental health, bro.
I
do need a new bestie.
I see the mood.
Right? Like,
he came in just ready to fight, like already.
And I haven't even talked to him like all day today. Really, I've been very. I've been in my little hermit shell all day today. Didn't touch the app. Haven't been active in my take over the world Snapchat groups. So I have no idea what my cult is up to. Just
about those groups now.
Running amok.
A lot of shit happens in the groups apparently.
We're just gonna get in trouble for that.
Oh God!
Since the election, I haven't been active on TikTok.
And maybe that's what it is too. Maybe I'm like I'm kind of scared to like say that out loud, but you know how upset I was, and I know how upset you were. Like maybe that's what did it to me today. Like I just had to.
So tell us about the election. How do you guys feel about it?
You go ahead, Nicole.
As someone who is very new into learning about politics and being passionate, I'm extremely discouraged. Like. And I'm mad at my state. Like I know people can't just be that stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do to help or to change it because I feel like I'm so late to the game. Like I woke up so late that I just always feel like I'm losing. And I don't know how to start. I don't know where to go from here.
Well, it's like me and you felt really similar after like the day of the event, right? Because it was that day. It was right before we were supposed to go up on stage and give these big speeches for Ryan Kelly. And I don't think that like they're not stupid. I just feel like certain things were pushed more than others. Like, and it totally detoured from like, are we just going to forget what happened over? Like, I get that, you know, I'll give it like the first 6 months. And I'm very gracious, not with like rights being removed, you know, or like when they went totally cray, but like essential workers for a little bit. I was like, okay, I guess I can wrap my brain around this. Okay, I guess. But there came a point where I don't understand how they don't see it anymore. How they just forgot how bad it was here.
I guess I shouldn't have said stupid. I should have said maybe misinformed because 4 years ago when I started TikTok, I was a hard.
I mean, I'm sure some of them are just flat out stupid, but
well, it is so weird because I did start off that way and I was making videos the exact opposite of what I do now. And you know how Facebook works, you make a comment, maybe 2 months later, somebody will comment and then you'll get that notification. Well, it just so happened that once I started waking up and coming over to the other side, I was seeing comments that I was making 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I, for the life of me, have no idea how what I was saying ever made sense. Like,
But you thought it did.
talking about, like, how does this even make sense? So I don't know. Once you go to the other side, there's no going back. Like, I don't know what I was doing.
I feel like I can kind of empathize with like old harder core liberal cat, like because I'll do the same thing when I run into certain posts where I'm like, bitch, what? Like, what are you even saying?
I have, and it's like, I don't know. I feel, I guess I'm also just.
Tony.
Oh, is he in here?
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
Get on my comment section, Dwayne.
My disappointment, though, also actually started with Garrett because I never got involved in politics.
You were hard for Garrett right off the rip, weren't you?
Well, yeah. So I only knew about Garrett. I never even heard about Ryan, but Garrett always would come over to my area. And I spoke with him, and he seemed interested. And I even kind of donated to his campaign the first time I ever did something like that. And in the beginning, he was great.
Yeah.
And then, Stoney was like, well, just do some research, look into him, do whatever. And he would never say anything more than that. He's like, I'm not going to make your decision. Just do some research. So I was like, all right. Well, the closer I got and the bigger he got, the harder he was to get a hold of, the harder he was to ask questions. And when you did ask the hard questions, he would somehow turn it around and ask you a question.
Yes.
So now I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, so the first time ever I'm getting involved in politics and I backed the wrong guy. So now I feel like, okay, here I am being duped by what I feel is my side. And then I go to the Trump rally. I hear about Ryan Kelly and I'm like, well, who's this guy? So I meet him for the first time. I hear of Tudor Dixon for the first time, along with 90% of the other people there.
Right.
And then I started to get to know Ryan. And then that's kind of how I changed. And then I was so passionate about him. And then the Capitol happened and I was pissed because, and we talked about this, he goes to the Capitol because he's loyal to Trump, because he's loyal of what Trump says. And then Trump totally shit on that and backed somebody nobody heard of. And everybody thinks his word is gold.
Yeah.
And I thought, I felt like that crushed us. And
that killed that day. It was so hard to get up there and like, you know what I mean? Like when you hear that it's this silent 11th hour too, right? Like real quiet endorsement. And Ryan was soaring before that happened. And I really, truly believe that had Ryan gone against Gretch, I do believe he would have won, because I feel like he would have been given a better platform for people to actually hear from him, to hear what his involvement was with J6, as opposed to just assuming, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that they assumed that he was very extreme. He was not as extreme as Dixon.
Right.
And Dixon came out like, I was like, girl, talk your Trump away just a little bit. Like, holy next level.
She came out with the shovel already, like digging herself.
Yeah.
Like, especially, and we've talked about this, like the abortion thing, it was such a touchy subject for Michigan. And I felt like she just went to one whole extreme.
Yeah.
I knew that we have a fight, but it's so hard to be on kind of the losing end the past couple years. And then I've been called terrorist. I've been called every name. They didn't want to let my kid in the school district we were in. So like, I'm tired, and I haven't even been doing this long. Yeah.
I feel you. And I don't even know like how, because like elections are usually my favorite. Like I loved watching the results and like chatting back and forth with y'all and just cracking up / crying, you know, like until we found out like, oh, okay, it's not funny anymore. But I don't even know how involved I want to be going forward with politics, like into presidential, because I've just got like a really bad feeling about presidential.
I do too.
That like it's not going to be serious.
And then
all of a sudden Ryan Kelly, all his FBI investigations, poof, it's just gone, right? Y'all don't care now that he's off the ballot, but
yep. And I'm worried too, because I feel like, I don't want to say Trump ever divided us years ago, but now he wants to fight one of the most popular conservative Republican governors in the United States. Why are you trying to tear your people apart?
Well, and like, but we also have to play devil's advocate on this. Like, if they're running against each other, that's what they're going to do. But you would think you would just find other things to say. Like, besides, like, I made, isn't that what he said, Tex? Like, if it wasn't for me,
That's exactly what he said.
you wouldn't be governor, you know? And it's kind of like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly
not, like, that's not true. Like, why? And look at him now. Like, he did a sweep harder in Florida than you did.
I feel like if he really wanted what was best for our country, they'd consider running together. But it seems like
can't.
he just why?
No, yeah, they can't.
12th Amendment says they can't because they reside in the same state.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I'm learning something new every day.
Well, I didn't either. Tex found out about footage was like a couple weeks ago because we were wondering about that. But yeah, I didn't even realize that was in there.
Let's be honest, Trump could really move, and one of them can. But I don't think Trump would ever share that crown because his head's so big.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. And that's what I slowly started to realize. And I know here come the Trump people. But as somebody who've always called myself a Trumpy, I'm disappointed in the fact that he cares more about his ego than he does us. And I don't want him to run. I don't want it. Oh, what's wrong?
There was just like it's like a spam. There was a spam comment in here and I wanted to make sure that I deleted the account like right away. It was weird. It was like free girls in U City. Like what? And it's XX 2.0 fun.
Here in New York. I don't know where to go because I when all of this happened.
Well, now we're like, Nicole, it's our job to be on those people though. Like we have to be on the elected officials. And that's how you stay involved if you want to stay involved, It's really disheartening for a while.
I keep getting discouraged and where I'm at, I'm by myself a lot. The one mother I did have that helped, she moved to Texas because her husband's job was threatened. And nobody wants to talk because they don't want to lose their business. So everybody wants to be like silent supporters, and we don't need to be silent anymore.
Mm-mm.
I don't really know how to say that enough. So anymore, I'm almost like a problem, because I raise that chaos, and it's frustrating when you're by yourself. And
I like the chaos that you raise, though.
And
I do. Like you love your state. You love and instantly fell in love with you at the Capitol, even though it was really hard to see you break down like that, like to see how much you genuinely love where you're from and you love the people where you're from. Like you're the real deal, Chicky Poo.
I mean, it's beautiful here, and you should love where you live, and you should be proud of it. And I'm not, I'm frustrated, and it's hard to sit here and think that we want to move because we want to be in a better environment. I can't afford that.
Right.
So it sucks that, again, I want to change it, and it's hard. And I thought that I wanted to kind of actually be in sort of this field. I just want to be a little bit more educated. I need to be.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm like, hey, I got a question.
Hey, he's my go-to. You want good advice on how to stay involved locally. That's your dude.
I would love to run for something, but I don't know what.
School board.
Yeah, I pull my kid out of the school board.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You're right, it doesn't, and I necessarily shouldn't say that. I
think school board is where we need everybody now. Yeah. What's done is done. It really sucks.
In Texas and a lot of your major suburb school districts, you have a lot of homeschooling parents on the school board still.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep.
I mean, what you guys are feeling is exactly how I felt in Texas in the primaries, because not to the extreme of what Gretch did, but Hot Wheels was just as bad. And
you say just as bad as a stretch, dude. You guys could buy seeds.
He literally told us what we can and can't do.
Yeah, he did.
Out of his words. Like
I mean, really, any governor that told you what you can and can't do is at fault here.
But like you go into Walmart and the clothes and like shit would be like just sectioned off,
like a crime scene.
Yes, they act like it was like a Black Friday sale. You try going underneath there. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't realize that. It took me a minute to notice that they closed our clothes section off. And that was one of the most frustrating things because my kids were going like crazy during the pandemic, but I couldn't go in. I couldn't like, what do clothes have to do with it?
And what's the difference between touching a green pepper and a t-shirt? Like,
right.
It
was the seeds in the paint for me where I was like, you're really going overkill here. Like you're really, people want something to do while they're locked down in their homes. Let them do home renovation.
Right. And even in the fresh air.
Just to let you guys know too, I was reading right before coming on to the show that George Soros has an undefeated record in the candidates that he has supported for DA local elections.
You would think that I would know that information, but I did not.
Trump can't even say that. I'm just saying.
Are you trying to like compliment George Soros right now though? Like that's a vibe.
I'm just saying and mind you, these are like DA seats in like Texas too. So the fact that like George Soros put all his money and his efforts into local elections should have been the telltale sign for all of us, including Trump, if he really cared about America. But instead, he just cared about scoring victories for the primaries. And that's all he still cares about is the victories of his fucking endorsements.
How do you fight someone as powerful as him?
As who?
George Soros.
You don't. You don't.
But you just got to show out in droves, right? I mean, like that's the thing is like, and like Trump tweeted yesterday or Truth Social, whatever the fuck you call it over there. He touted that that he has this big win percentage, right? But the key states, the key victories that he needed, he didn't get, and he's not going to get. He's over when it comes to gubernatorial endorsements, like legit over.
That's not his fault. That's Melania's fault.
Oh, that's right. Right. But don't say that because then they, all these Trump tards come out with all sorts of fucking excuses for the guy. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden it's funny because Fox News is the most watched television network that there is.
Well, and the most pro-Trump. They are extraordinarily pro-Trump. That's the Rights News Network. The fact that people were coming at you like, oh my God, you believe Fox News? I was like, stop it.
He just released another statement bashing DeSantis.
Well, I mean, that's what he's going to do now because, I mean, at least now we know, yes, he's going to run. Otherwise, he wouldn't be acting like this. So that's going to happen. And people might get upset with me, at least. I'm like over on the Clock platform. But for people to get upset that like we're saying anything negative about Trump, like we need to be just like we need to be DeSantis and anybody else is running for president. They have to be scrutinized all over again. Just because he did 4 terms and we needed that in 2016 doesn't mean that that's what we need now. So like he gets to be re-scrutinized because he's running again. That's what we're supposed to do with all of them equally and break them down bit by bit to see who's the best fit. I don't know. Like, I don't think he's got a good freaking vibe already coming into it. Like,
did Trump screw Michigan?
I feel like his endorsement was the worst call ever. The worst call.
He knew.
I don't know. Dr. Oz was pretty bad too.
Dr. Oz was pretty bad. Dude, you know that you're bad when you lose to that guy. That guy can't even talk. The guy that he ran against.
Yeah. What did he?
But I mean, I felt very let down when I found out that he endorsed Tudor. I really thought Ryan would get it. I was like, oh yeah, he'll get it.
I thought if anything, it would either have been Garrett or Ryan. I wasn't sure if he would have endorsed Ryan because of the capital.
Well, here's the thing, like
I had never heard of her until he endorsed her. I have seen 0 Tudor Dixon signs. I mean, now I do.
I've heard of her at the rally when all her people were walking. I'm like, who the hell is Tudor? Never heard of her before. And neither did anybody around me.
Like even Dana's kids saw it with the ads. You never saw a Tudor Dixon ad. You only
Mm-mm.
saw.
My son even asked me
Yeah.
because he knew about Garrett and he knew about Ryan. He always saw their sign, and he was like, "Mom, why all of a sudden are you voting for Tudor?" I was like, "Oh my god! Like, yeah, see, like, I don't." That's what bothered me. I
Yeah.
think when I realized that your ego was bigger, that you never want to share a spotlight, and I feel like you screwed the state of Michigan. He knew his voice had weight to people,
Mm-hmm.
and
I agree, Ames, that he wants to just stay away from anything to do with J6. However, he then was over there. Like, not only did he screw Michigan over by endorsing her, but then on election night, he wants to throw a temper tantrum about election fraud and the rest of it.
mm-hmm.
And then writes protest, protest, protest.
And
so, like, I don't think it was that. I mean, part of me thinks it is, and then part of me thinks it isn't, because like he has no problem telling people to protest now.
And the worst part about it is, it was everybody that were there. Remember that it was supposed to be safe and it was peaceful, and he told people to go there.
Mm-hmm.
All Ryan did was do what you told him to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Ryan was like, "Here, help me up," and you were like, "No, bitch, bye." Like you just left your people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if we want to be really honest, like, wasn't he supposed to walk down there with everybody?
Yeah.
That was like the whole thing, and he didn't. He didn't. He let y'all walk down there, and he went home.
And I loved Trump. I loved me some Trump.
I do too.
T-shirts. I got a deck of cards. I got everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm grateful that he woke me up. I'm grateful that he showed me why I should be grateful for where I live. And he
absolutely,
I love my country, and he made me remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's just like, I can't.
He's like your embarrassing uncle. Yeah. That like is a really great person, but then like once in a while says some shit that you got to try to excuse, and I'm not going to try to excuse some of this shit anymore. Like,
yeah, like
now here's what you got is you, and I'm already seeing it on TikTok, is that you got a bunch of these hardcore Trump tards that are going to start to discredit DeSantis.
That we're worshiping him 2 weeks ago.
Right.
How do we do that to our own kind, like to that level? Like,
now I don't mind, like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind scrutinizing
mm-hmm.
what
politicians
they do
at all. I don't care what side they're on. But the problem is if we're not going to do it like across the board and equally, right, then we shouldn't be doing it at all. And the thing is nobody wants to question Trump for anything.
That's the
But now all of a sudden, like when DeSantis was a teacher, apparently he had some photos, inappropriate photos with underage kids. I don't know. I'm still looking into it, but like, why didn't this come out when he was running for governor and everybody's been excited about him? And why did this come out?
Right. So either A, it's a lie and you're making this up, or B, you knew about it and you excused it. Both are bad. Like, both are bad.
That it doesn't make sense to me. And what's weird is, why are we all allowed to go after DeSantis, but we can't go after Trump? Like, I don't understand why. Trump
I will too.
I mean, that you just can't break through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, and this is what I want people to understand, all 27 people that are in here, is that at the end of the day, when it comes time to a primary election, you can't split the party. Like, that doesn't happen.
Mm.
So we should be equally as criticism on Trump as we are DeSantis or any other Republican that runs for office. Because at the end of the day, that's literally what the primary election is for, is to scrutinize your party to get the best candidate. That's what it's supposed to be for.
Right.
It's not designed to. And the thing that irritates me the most is like when they talk about like splitting the party, only whenever you come to criticizing Trump is because I got this whenever we were when I was criticizing Hot Wheels in Texas very heavily. You're splitting the party. That's literally not what the primary election is for. The primary election is to scrutinize to get the best candidate that you can get to run against the opponent in the Democrat Party. Now, I got to be honest with you. I heard a speech by Jesse Ventura that I hate agreeing with that dumbass, but
Really? Look at his face. He's like, dude, something weird happened today.
No, like,
I don't wanna
like
say
what
it.
he said was accurate. Like when you have both parties that are very corrupt, how are you going to get a third party?
I mean, yeah,
I'm
this is
literally, I
valid
was
point.
looking through all of the elections, and in all honesty, like had some of those third party votes gone Republican, even this wouldn't be a question. Katie Haw or Carrie Lake would have won big time.
She didn't?
No,
She hasn't yet.
not, yeah. As far as I know, it wasn't really looking good for her, which was disappointing.
Really?
I've been hearing
I
the
thought it was a
opposite.
shoot.
I've been hearing there's like 600,000 votes still out there, like drop mail-in ballots that still need to be counted, and they're in favor of her.
Is it? Well, that's
Oh.
good. I'm hoping so.
Well, because I heard a rumor
Yeah, the third party.
that 76% of women voted Republican. Isn't that the rumor, Tex?
I mean, that's what they're saying. Like 76% white women voted.
Oh,
for-
white women.
Yeah. I mean, and this is what I hate. Like when it.
Why
comes
are we
to-
polling that? It's so
That's not
gross.
that you poll it, mind you. Like in most
I
of
don't
these
know.
states, when you register to vote, you're giving your demographics anyways. So like, they're not polling this; they're just taking it from the data based on how you voted.
Yeah, I still think that's weird. I think that they should just be like X amount of people from this state voted this way. Like, why does it? And you explained it so they can pander. You know, like I was like, why does it matter? Like if I'm a male or female or white or black, why does that matter? It's a vote.
Well, I
It
mean,
was
But-
every Whitmer commercial that Dana and I had seen on like, and mind you, we don't have live TV, so we have subscription stuff. Right?
Mhm.
So like, we're too cheap to even pay for non-commercial stuff, so we get all the commercials still on like Hulu and all
that's
that. But like
You get the back-to-back commercials.
every single one of them were Whitmer Whitmer commercials.
Mhm.
Black people involved in them.
Mhm.
Like every single one of them, which means basically here's what separates Texas from like all the other states. And it's not that Texas is this great state by any means, but like Texas is so large
Mhm.
that our rural areas count. Michigan, New York, some of your other liberal cities like Connecticut and Massachusetts, they're so small, those
Mhm.
rural areas don't count as much. That's why when you see the signs of like how red like New York is or Michigan is, like through the districts, but the problem is your population density is in your
Yeah.
three major cities, Lansing, Flint, and Detroit.
And Saginaw.
And these
Saginaw's
people-
is up there too for a pretty big chunk.
Well, these people legitimately are partisan line votes. Like you're not swaying their votes.
Yeah.
And so to me, like whenever I started looking at data itself, I don't think this has been an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that abortion was that big of an issue. And I just take a look at Proposition 3 here in Michigan. It was the closest margin to of victory, if you will, of all the propositions, which means it really wasn't that big of an issue.
Right.
This state in particular, like obviously, is it for some voters? Yes, I'm not disagreeing that it is for some voters, but overall, no. The problem is that you won't get, as we see on our side, and we see it on the left side, you have your hardcore people that will absolutely not vote the other way, no matter what. Period.
Yeah.
You got it on our side too. Like, so to blame just the left is, but the unfortunate part about it is when it comes to your cities,
Mhm.
and this has been the flabbergasting part for me in general, is when you take a look at like places like Chicago, Detroit, Buffalo, New York, New Orleans, your very deep blue cities that are consistently failing.
Mhm.
Why don't they change the vote? Like that's literally the definition of insanity. You have people on here talking about how like Detroit is their city and like you're not going to destroy their city. Well, Democrats are doing that.
Right.
Yes.
The last time New York City was great was when Mayor Rudy Giuliani was running the city, and that was a Republican. That's the last time. That was back in 9/11 days.
Yeah.
The mayor of New York has been Democrat.
And now they have apps to find poop
What's that?
in the cities. Yeah, like that there's an app so that you can watch out for like human feces on the street. California and New York have like to where you can put in there. So like suppose you're walking down the street. But it's so gross. Like I'm seeing videos coming out of these cities where it doesn't look like America.
Did you know that, like, let's take Detroit. I just simple Google search. 1962 was the last time a Republican served as mayor in the city of Detroit. 1962. People are fucking dead from that era right now. And they haven't had a Republican mayor. But look at Detroit. Can you really look at Detroit and go, you know what? That's a succeeding city.
I think it's gotten better. Like, listen, there was a period of time that it was really bad, and then it was starting to get a little bit better again, and now it's fading again.
Yeah.
But there are parts of Detroit that, like, no, I will not go there. Absolutely not. I will not go there. And what drives me the most nuts is that those are
protected, is what I'm told.
Yeah, but I'm not though. They're like. But I'm not. Like, I'm a walking fucking statistic. Like, I don't care what color I am. I've had a lot of horrible shit happen to me too. Like, horrible shit happens. We were poor. Like, I was poor as fuck for a long time. I'm still poor as fuck. It's based on money. It's not based on race with your opportunities.
Right.
I'm not saying that it never plays a factor because there's always going to be garbage people, right? Like, there's always going to be garbage people that will do that. But I'm saying not everybody is like that. But though that those areas of Detroit, like it's crazy to me because it's like, you guys, it's really bad right here. So why don't you just try something different? Like, can we try something different for a little bit to make them better? But they're so dependent on the state in those areas that like a change would just be horrifying.
And I also think that in a way, some people are they don't realize that they're just kind of being given tiny bits at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Within the last maybe 25 years, they've built Comerica Park, Ford Field, Little Caesars Arena.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of transformed Campus Martius, and then they've now shut off the road by the court and turned that into like a taco thing, and they play music, and now they have the Riverwalk. So that they keep giving these people things to think, oh my God, it's bringing in money, it's doing this, it's doing that. And I think people are satisfied with
Mm-hmm.
that because they think that that's a lot, not really realizing that they're not really giving you shit.
Or even realizing what Detroit used to be.
Right, or what it could be. And
Yeah.
what, how we're really just not getting anything. And I think that's the unfortunate situation because people say, oh, it looks so beautiful down there on Woodward.
Mm-hmm.
On Woodward.
Yep.
That's where it is. So, but again, they see it. They think, oh, well, it's bringing jobs. It could bring a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, nobody wants to really look at that because nobody wants to do the work because it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to fight for what we're supposed to have. It's hard to do that. People don't want to do it. And that's the unfortunate situation. And they won't do anything about it until it's too late. And
It's very sad.
I can only yell and scream so much.
I think that's the key is like, I mean, and granted, I get like it wasn't the extreme of what has happened here in Michigan, but the fact is that Greg Abbott, Hot Wheels, trampled on 16 of our constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
He's still allowed to rerun for governor. Like, so the amnesia is both on our side too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we forgot. And that's the sad part is that that states like Michigan and Texas both reelected people that are willing to trample on your constitutional rights, period. No matter how they did it, how long they did it, at the end of the day, if they did it once, they will absolutely do it again because we literally just rewarded both of them
Mm-hmm.
trampling on our rights.
Yeah, just elect them right back in. Good job.
Now, a conversation that we had, though, and I'm curious because I told you, of course, I want to move out of Michigan. Why would you believe that Texas would be a better fit than Florida opposed to?
Well, because mind you, like Florida's hot right now because DeSantis can literally only serve 2 terms. That's it. And prior, like when he ran his first term, he only beat the Democrat by 3 points. That's it. It was a very, very, very extremely close race. Texas has been long hold a Republican state in general. When DeSantis leaves his second term, which is this term now, what then?
But
Mhm.
you don't think a lot of people like us have migrated to Florida for the
Oh
reason-
yeah.
Well, you did, but will you have a governor like DeSantis? That's the key.
True.
Gillum almost won. The guy that got caught up in a hotel room with drugs and male prostitutes. Andrew Gillum.
These politicians are wild,
He legit
man.
almost won by 3 points. Is all he lost by. And granted, like the COVID response and the way that DeSantis has handled Florida has helped Florida, but at the end of the day, he can only serve 2 terms. That's in their constitution. Unfortunately, in Texas, it's unlimited terms in the governor and while Greg Abbott absolutely has his flaws, and I don't think he's a very good human being in general, his policies are better long term than, in my opinion, DeSantis being short term in Florida.
Okay.
I see you being more Texas than Florida, just for your overall personality. Like, because like to me, right? So politics aside, do you want like the beach all the time, like tropicalish all the time? And because I was trying to decide, like when we were originally moving, I was trying to decide between Florida and Texas. And Texas got my vote just because like I felt that it was more like my backwoods vibes from Michigan. Like I need woods. You know what I mean? Like I need woods, I need rugged. That's what I need. And to me, Florida is like, oh, it's pretty and it's tropical and it's like a little vacation. And I go and I drink my little drink and then I go home.
I would agree.
Blue Whiplash has a great point. Like in Central Texas, East Texas, Northeast Texas, you can still find like good property with a decent house for a decent price. You can't find that in Florida. Like at the end of the day,
There's only one thing though that Florida has that Texas doesn't. Only one, and it's more of a deciding factor than a lot for my husband mainly. But
sure.
What's that? What is it? Is it what I'm thinking?
the same reason I love Michigan.
Yeah. See, that would be a deciding factor
Wait,
for me
weed's
too.
not legal in Florida.
Excuse me.
Weed is not legal in Florida.
It is medicinally.
So when I went down to Miami for my friend's bachelorette party, they were just down the street smoking it.
Well, I mean, yeah, people still do
Marijuana is still
that.
illegal
Well,
in
I just
Florida.
thought it was.
I
just thought it was.
think it is medically though, Tex. I'm almost positive. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, without a
Even
medicinal
if it's not
marijuana card.
recreational, that would be fine. It's just that's
Yeah, you got to have the medicinal.
Yeah, it's medicinal use.
yeah, that's fine. That's
Is it though? Like
Yeah, they give those cards out. I mean, you can get a medical card for anxiety, headaches.
Not in Texas. Like,
Oh,
seriously.
that's right. You guys had
In
really
order-
strict
hold on,
laws.
I'm literally reading it here. In order to qualify for the medicinal medical marijuana card in Florida, you have to have cancer, epilepsy, glaucoma, positive status of or HIV, AIDS, POTS, I guess. Yeah, POTS, Crohn's, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, medical conditions of the same kind of class as above. So in chronic non-malignant pain. So like they're still stringent on it. Like they're not like just
Yeah, but I bet you a lot of people get it for the chronic pain. I mean, you consider something as chronic. I mean, anything is chronic pain.
Well, it sounds like they're pretty strict on it, like Texas is.
Yeah, in Michigan, man, like you could get it for freaking anything in
here's what
Michigan,
I've
even when it was just medicinal.
You just
I've
call the
always
doctor
felt
on the phone.
like the Republican Party needs to get on board with recreational marijuana.
Yes.
Or else they're going to continue to lose. Because I honestly believe, like, we saw the stats for the millennial vote of 18 to like 25 or something like that,
Mhm.
heavily weighed on the Democrat side. And I think a lot of that has to do, obviously, with abortion, but I think also medicinal marijuana.
I agree.
or marijuana in general.
If you
Mhm.
have to notice, a lot of places are popping up with like these bars, but they're non-alcoholic bars. Like it's becoming like a non-drinking trend, and,
Yep.
and more people are kind of veering toward marijuana rather than alcohol now.
Hmm.
So I mean, you gotta listen to them. It's just weed.
It's
No,
just
and that's where I
weird.
wish the Republican Party. I mean, mind you, there's still some states, some counties in Texas that are dry counties, meaning you can't buy liquor in the state. But here's a surprising stat. I was literally looking up. So alcohol delivery in Colorado, one of the second state to like open up recreational marijuana, they turned down alcohol delivery in their state.
What?
The proposal, the proposition to have alcohol delivery was turned down in Colorado.
Why?
That's what the voters decided. So I don't know why. Like I didn't poll all the voters, but I don't know why they made that decision. But
I
like,
didn't call them out
have marijuana
personally.
fully legal, but you're going to turn down alcohol delivery. Like even Texas has alcohol delivery. They did that during
We
COVID.
have weed delivery.
Yeah.
Do we have alcohol delivery here?
Yeah,
I'm sure you did.
Probably
Like,
had everything.
like even Texas passed alcohol.
I've never done it, but I noticed the other day I got something from DoorDash. And I was like, wait, I can put alcohol in my cart? I was like, no way. So I went to put it in the cart and it had told me, like, you'll be ID'd. Like, you have to be there, obviously, to be ID'd. But yeah, they'll deliver booze.
See, you don't
Yep.
even have to leave your house anymore. You
No.
can delivered. You can vote from home.
Isn't that like the whole idea though? Like why is everybody trying to keep everybody in the house? Like I'm in the house all day long. Like it's not fun. I don't know
So I
Are
got a
you,
question.
why
for
everybody
you.
wants to be in their house all day.
I do got a
Yes.
question for you, ladies, because I've
Oh,
been seeing
Lord.
a lot of this trend as a woman. So obviously, no uterus, no opinion, and last I checked, I don't have one.
I
Well,
also do not have one, so do I sit
so you
this
have
out?
one. Okay, Nicole. So this
Okay.
one, I guess, is for
Okay.
you because Kat doesn't get an opinion either.
No.
One of the things that I saw was, and I saw it from like big creators down to small creators, from voters, all up and down. How is abortion defining your rights now? Like I literally saw a creator talk about your rights as a woman are up for grabs while they're voting. Like so your rights aren't up for grab if you're voting because like there's countries like in Iran or no, where was it? Afghanistan, I think. They literally just prohibited women from attending public events.
What?
But we're worried about abortion rights here in America. Like you can't attend concerts as a woman in like Afghanistan. But that's what. But
crazy.
nothing about women's rights there. So like, I'm just curious. Like, why is abortion tied to actual rights here in America when like legitimately rights for women across the world are not nearly what they are here in America?
Because we're entitled for
Okay.
one. And for two, we've never had to experience that. So we really don't know what it's like to not have rights, if you know what I mean, because we're doing what we want. I've been pro-choice my entire life. And it's mainly just it's none of your business. I don't necessarily want to terminate a child. I just think that if I choose to, it would never affect you guys. Like if I never told you guys, like it would never change anything. It's just nobody's business.
Right.
But
I find it weird that we even vote on it.
well, and I do too, because
Then it's just a moral thing and everybody has different morals, or it becomes religious and everybody has different religions.
Right. And then you have something like The Handmaid's Tale. So then you have someone like me who I don't want to get there. And we talk about like the participation awards and then how it gets from you kind of open a door and then it opens floodgates.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to think when the overturn of Roe versus Wade happened, and I was still a little
Well, in case you're wondering, Trump just called Ron DeSantis an average governor. An average governor. Yeah. He's just average.
Dude, elections are going to be so fun with Tex. This is going to be a good time. Like, Tex is going to offend a lot of people.
You know what though? Can we talk about how good a debate would be between those two? I think. Personally.
Oh, like, I'm here for it. I'm here to watch them go head to head, like the entertainment value alone.
Yes.
But the weird thing is like, if you would have told me 2 years ago, I mean, really even a year ago, that I was going to be like on Trump and like pro DeSantis, I would have laughed at you so hard and been like, no, I'm always Trump, always Trump.
Oh yeah, me too.
But I just can't anymore. Like, it's annoying to me. It makes me mad, and it makes me laugh at how many people take it personally. Like, some of these people get so upset. Like, they get upset like I would if someone was talking shit about Tex.
Right.
Like, y'all don't know him, or if I say anything bad, you shouldn't say that. Why do you think he's going to hear me? Like,
that makes sense.
Why? Like, people are actually scared to speak out, and they feel like they have to defend him, and that everything, like, that's a cult, baby.
I don't think anybody's
here's the thing, like,
clean.
in all honesty, like, when it comes to
No way.
politicians, nobody is clean.
Right.
Nobody is clean. Trump's not clean. If Trump was clean, why didn't he show his tax returns? Yeah, I'll go there. If Trump was clean, why not just show your tax returns?
Tex, next thing we know, you're gonna be dyeing your hair green.
No,
And
I'm not doing that. But like, if he's so clean, why are we going to the Supreme Court that just
agreed?
Right.
But like, that's the thing. Like, we don't want to pick Trump apart, but now all of a sudden we're willing to depict. And this
Right.
isn't at. And I just want to make it clear, like, this isn't at blue whiplash by any means, because to get to where like governor, president, even U.S. senator, you're not clean. Nobody.
No.
We all have some type of secrets, and to think
Mhm.
that you are put in a very high, powerful position with lots of opportunities, lots of money, lots of power, to think that somebody stayed on the straight and narrow the entire time, I just find impossible, because we're all human. Like, we're all tempted at something. Sooner or later, somebody breaks.
That's a
The
fact,
issue
man.
is holding it until
All
it
facts.
benefits you. That's the problem. Because if you really cared about the country, you would call them out while they're doing it, not when you're wanting it to benefit you. That just shows what kind of person you are. And that's what I don't understand. Like, you would never allow your sister to be treated like this way, or you would never allow anybody to get away with it. So why do you allow the most powerful person in our country, or anybody that are running for something?
Well, that's the last person that you should.
Hey, do you
Not
want
do
to
it.
know how dictators are born? Trump supporters. Dead serious. And the reason
No,
why
but
say
I mean,
and I
that
don't say
blind
this
follow.
because,
It's
like,
blind following.
That's what it is. Because
Mhm.
you were willing to worship this man so much that you were wanting him in power so bad for so long because he's your fucking savior. But at the end of the day, he is a man. He's throwing his wife under the bus.
But
Yeah.
I was that person.
Any man that's willing to throw his wife under the bus is a piece of shit in my
Agreed.
in my book.
Agreed. Like, when you want to say something to somebody else, like, if you want to check your person, you do it when you get home and be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have said that. You don't blast it to somebody when you have your platform. And especially when everybody talks about how shitty you treat your wives, and then you do
Well,
it.
is my microphone too loud?
I mean, I loved Trump. I did. I was
I
one
think
of
I
those
turned it down.
who thought all of this. But you kind of have to see what he's doing and have to really look back and say, okay, if I really think that my rights are being infringed, and if I really don't like the way the world is going, do I want somebody to be put in power that's going to tell me all these secrets that he could have told me years ago? I don't see how that works. And I don't see why we wouldn't say something like, you have to. You have to
Right.
hold your people.
Yeah, no, you do.
And that's why, like, for me, like, the free thinkers tell the people how to think, and then the people that question everything won't question Trump. And it's like, how does that work exactly? Like, I hear all the time on the Republican side, question everything. Everything is up for debate. Everything is questioned. Okay, cool. Like, so then the second I question Trump, it's like, oh, whoa, what happened to you? What's going on with you? How are you doing? What's going on? Like, why have you changed so much? I've
Oh my
literally
God,
lost
the
100
pe- the-
followers on Instagram because, and I don't care about followers because I will always stay true to my convictions of who I am. I don't give a fuck about following. but like to watch the numbers drip has been funny because it's like, so you only followed me when I agreed with you about Trump, and the
Well,
only
I guess Stoney said Melania did come out and denied those claims. It was a fabricated story. You know what, though? I would probably cover my husband's ass too. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I would too, but it's funny how we want, she would cover him, but look at him. He's just like, take that stuff. Like that's what I mean. I'm not saying that he wasn't a good president, but you're also showing what kind of person you are. And I don't know. I think that he had good intentions, but I don't understand why it has taken this turn. Or maybe it was the whole time and I just never seen it.
no, because okay, maybe it was, but like you said, and that I like my reasoning for loving Trump is the same as yours. I think he woke a lot of people up, whether it be for support of him or even hate for him. Because even the people who hated him, you looked into politics more because you hated him. And the ones that loved him, like he almost made like politics cool again.
Right.
It was more of a discussion. And then you saw like this town hall type setup on social media, and it was all politics and everyone's talking about it. And it was so talked about that, like, I have friends that I never thought that I would stop being friends with that will not speak to me anymore.
But I will say this, while you have that on one hand, and I am grateful for it, don't get me wrong, because more people got involved in politics than ever before. But at the same time, we now, because of him, we treat politicians like more celebrities than they've ever been.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't like that.
Yeah. They know that.
I don't like that at all.
And I mean,
because like, in all honesty, like,
that is Butters.
that is one of that is one of the things that why I liked Chad Prather in Texas so much, is because he wanted to get rid of the celebrity status of politicians.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing. Even
but it can't be all the way good.
Like when Ant called me one day and he was like, "Hey, I just saw Pete Buttigieg in the airport."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "What'd you do?" He said, "I went up to him and I shook his hand and I told him I didn't appreciate his policies." That's how we should be treated.
And that's how you should be talking to elected officials. You shouldn't ever worship them.
I mean, I think somewhere along the lines, people seem to have forgotten that they work for us, that we put them in there, that, but it's the opposite for some reason. It's like people have forgotten that part. And they just want to listen to what the government says rather than be like, yo, you're supposed to listen to me. I don't know where we went so wrong. I don't remember it being like
hate your friends.
And that's like Miss Blue Whiplash. That's what I think we've lost here in America, is that they work for us regardless. And that's where, like I was saying, when it comes to these major cities, mind you, I went back into Flint trying to do some Google research, and I can't even find when a Republican mayor even held office in Flint.
Really?
Just to let you know, like I can't find it. Maybe y'all can find it. I can't find it.
Here.
But like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, how do the citizens of Flint and Detroit and Buffalo and Chicago and even New York and go, you know what? We were better off as a city of New York when Mayor Rudy Giuliani, a Republican mayor, was running office. Why don't we just vote a Republican in office?
Because they don't think that they were better.
You have to. It's kind of almost like when you read. Think about like even proposals. They read just what's right in front of their face. They don't dig in. They don't ask questions. I was one of those people. Well, another thing that I did, which I look back at it now and I'm upset with myself, is when I voted, when I turned of age, I voted for whoever signs I seen the most. I never read a proposal. I never looked up somebody. And now I look at myself, and I had a hand in potentially ruining, my state. And I'm still learning, and it's frustrating. It
is. Like, I mean, I think I pay more attention to it now, to where I didn't actually do straight red down the ticket. And I really thought that I was going to, and I didn't. Like, I researched, quite a few libertarians that were running, and they got my vote on some of the stuff.
I have never went into a voting poll and knew who I was voting for until the last 2 times.
Oh, really?
I went in and every single person that I circled their dot, I looked them up. I knew their policies and I wanted them in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 34 years old. Twice. That's what I mean. I just, people don't care because they look at the commercials and they're like, oh, that's what I want to do. And it's based on emotion.
That's how I wound up voting for Obama twice. Like, I just felt like it pulled on my heartstrings so much and I really believed in it. But now looking back, I'm kind of like, how did you not see through that? Like,
when it was time to even vote for Trump, the question I asked, I said, I don't really know who to vote for because they're both pieces of shit because I hated Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that was told to me was, well, would you rather have us, if we ever went to war, would you rather have it be on our soil or someone else's? And I was like, someone else's. And they said, then vote Trump. So I voted Trump. I didn't check. I didn't verify. I didn't do any of that. And I started to like Trump because I said I was being sarcastic. And I said, he's the best president ever. And then somebody started giving me all these bad things that he did. And I was like, wait, he didn't do that. And then I started looking stuff up and then I was like, oh my God. And that's kind of how it all spiraled.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, I was not a big fan when he announced that he was running.
I wasn't either. I said,
I was like, the you're fired dude, like the Home Alone dude. Why is he run? Like, I thought it was funny. And I remember when he got in, Cody called me the next morning and was like, babe, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Like, I could not wrap my brain around it for months. I will say, though, that the Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Trump memes were on point and still my favorite thing.
I agree. And I was blasting, you know, F Donald Trump, and I called him all kinds of names. And then all of a sudden I went down this hole. And the day that I watched him leave office, I cried.
Yeah. I think he did amazing things. And a lot of people.
I was scared. I couldn't believe I did that. I've never once ever watched a debate, let alone watch a president leave the White House. Why the hell would I watch that? But I did. And I cried. And I was like, I can't believe I'm so emotional about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's, for whatever reason, he lit a match. And I'll forever be grateful. But now you just need to step aside and let someone who's actually loved this country, let them run it. You put people up. Let us thank you. Be that savior.
Yeah.
Move along.
He has an opportunity to stay that right now.
Yes. Just
like, you will forever be known as the president that woke everybody back up and made people love their country again or hate you, but still love their country out of hate. Like, you did bring unity through disruption. Well, that's I'm so scared that if he swoops back in, it's just going to be.
Well, and here's the argument that I made the other day that I actually was like, damn, that's a pretty solid argument. So Trump can only run for one more term, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
DeSantis gets in, let's say, he can run for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there a chance, though, based on everything that's still going on, can we get Trump to do the whole Senate thing and all that, or can that not work?
No, we don't have enough seats to get him into the Speaker of the House.
I thought we took the House and the Senate.
We did, but you still got to have a majority to vote in the Speaker within the House.
But we haven't officially taken it yet, though.
Well, we're going to take it, but the problem is like you still have a bunch of never Trumpers in the House.
Mm-hmm.
So we Republicans have the House or will have the House. You still need a majority in the House to vote for Trump to be Speaker. We don't have those people in there, and that's fine. I'm okay with that, in all honesty. Like, at one point in time, I was really excited, like, okay, we'll make him Speaker, you know, whatever. To me, I'm like, you know what, just stay aside. And I think that's why he's focusing
just go home.
on the presidential race, because he knows that. He didn't win the key states he needed to get him to be Speaker.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's okay. Like, in all honesty, that's okay. Like, they're even saying, what's his name? Kevin McCarthy. They're telling Kevin McCarthy's not a shoe-in to the House to the Speaker of the House. And he's a Republican. He's the leader of the Republican Party.
Earlier, because he did something about Nancy Pelosi. I don't remember what he said, but it was on my way home. I heard it over the radio.
No, Speaker is the most powerful seat.
It is.
you have the chance to like hold bills at the House that never get to the presidency. Like you control a lot of this country and the Speaker of the House. You
When
do.
is when is the last time the speaker has been Republican?
Well, Trump's first term.
Why did I
Paul
think?
Ryan was Speaker. I think his first term.
I
And
thought
was
Nancy Pelosi had been in there for like a decade,
Right.
Yeah, well, she's been in there, but not as Speaker. Because like when
not as Speaker.
right, not as Speaker.
Oh, okay. I thought she's been in for okay. She's
Mhm.
just been in some form of
Hmm.
Yeah, she's been in office.
Yeah, she's a
As
dinosaur.
far as Speaker goes, like she just got elected midterm of President Trump's last election or last term. So his midterm. So what? 2018.
why would people even put her?
And she's got to
Mind you,
go.
but you got to think like this is two different like sectors of voting, right? So like you have your American people voting on Congress, but then you have your Congress, which is all political, and for Speaker.
I don't think
and-
people always know how to vote for stuff like
yeah,
that.
she was Speaker during Obama's term, but when the House when they took Congress over and Obama's midterm of his second term, Paul Ryan became the Speaker of the House until Trump came in office, and then in 2018, when the Democrats took control of the House, is when Nancy Pelosi came into office to Speaker of the House.
You need to have
Wait, so she's been Speaker of the House twice?
Yeah, because like it's not a term limit; it's all political within Congress, so it's not a political issue.
Oh, I don't
like-
like that. I don't
Well,
like
it's-
that
it's
at
like-
all.
and that's why like the rules are different with like impeachment and Speaker of the House than they are with like regular politics because
Yeah.
it has to do with just the chambers.
Tex, do you know this
Um,
because you like history, or did you honestly learn this? Because honestly, I don't know what you know. I didn't learn this, and it's not because I didn't pay attention in school. So like, is it in
It's difference of education though too, and where you're at. Because like we learned a lot about, like my kids are learning about all the judicial branches and what each of them do. And
But you don't really learn about certain things, and
no,
I don't know where you.
So in
get-
Texas, like in all honesty, Texas in their public schools, it is drilled into you. Like we literally, I think it's 9th grade or 8th grade, you have Texas history, where they literally spend the entire year talking about Texas history, and then we have government history that's required. And so, like, yeah, a lot of it was taught there. But too, I've just always, since I could remember in elementary school, I've always been involved or interested in politics. Like since I've watched every single inauguration since Clinton's first term. I've watched his impeachment. Like I've always been enthralled in
Wow.
politics for me. Like it's just how it's always been for me.
I never turned on the news until George Floyd almost.
and that's okay. We all start.
It is okay.
Somewhere.
It is okay.
I mean,
But for me,
I liked it growing up, and I knew like a little bit about it, and but really it wasn't until
I never liked the news. Somebody's dying, some car crash, somebody got robbed. It's never anything good. So I just
No.
I never wanted to turn it on. And then once all these movements started and the world started changing, I started paying attention, and that's when I found out how gullible I was and how duped I was. And then it's like finding the truth is harder than anything, and then that's.
I mean, now today with we're in the era of information. It is extremely hard to find actual truth because Google blocks the truth. DuckDuckGo blocks the truth. Social media blocks the truth. Like everybody blocks the truth of what you don't, what you want to hear is what they block. And so like that's the honest issue with here in America in general is that the fact that like Google, who's supposed to be just a search engine, is so political is an issue because they do suppress the truth. Like it's extremely hard to find the actual truth of anything because they'll wipe it off the internet. We say the internet is forever until you're in politics, and then if they want it gone, they will absolutely make it gone.
Oh no, agreed. I actually considered joining, like Ben Shapiro has a book club, and I've considered joining Daily Wire just and reading some of his books just to try to understand, I mean, everything, understanding how money works, understanding.
I have a few, and when I see you, I'll just
Stoney,
loan them out.
I
I'll just
raise
loan
you-
them out to you, and then you can just mail them back. But like, I have
Well,
the
we
Ben
can't do
Shapiro one,
mail-in,
like easy ways to destroy America. Sean Hannity's book is really good too. It's Live Free or Die Something. I have a bunch of them too, and I have like the whole Trump hoax thing, like the big thick ones. I have those ones too. You can just,
if you get a hold of Bill O'Reilly's books, like his Lincoln books and stuff, like they're really good.
Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, like he did a deep dive in history in general. But Stoney, like you can take your 50,000 ballots in Arizona at 600,000 ballots, and they won't be counted until after the weekend. 600,000 ballots, and it's already a tight race.
So long.
I mean, we already caught the gubernatorial candidate there, on the Democrat side, being in the ballot counting section, and she's legally not supposed to be able to be there. And that's a felony. So, but she's a Democrat, so she'll get away with it.
Become a politician, just break the law.
No, you just got to be on the right side of politics, right? You got to be on the Democrat side. If you're on the Democrat side, you can get away with anything. Like Joe Biden announcing that he's going to look into Elon Musk and being a national security threat all of a sudden because a private citizen decided to buy Twitter and make it a private account that's no longer left leaning. And now that's a national security threat because of some of his investors were overseas investors, but his son won't be investigated
for his overseas endeavors.
Yeah. So let that sink in. Like, and that's the thing. Like
foreign and domestic endeavors with that hunter. Right. All right, Nicole, you got to leave us with some positive vibes.
Oh, I knew I was going to be asked this, and I was trying to think the whole time. Let me think here.
Not to put you on the spot.
You know what I mean? I guess the only thing that I can really think of is, and I guess this is more to you guys. So I guess it's positive. But
to us guys or everybody?
No, I'm just going to take a moment to really go to you guys. In a world who's gone
sucking up, huh?
A little bit.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I want to move up in the minions. Like
it's important. It is that time.
I need to move up. In a world that's gone to hell, in a world where I feel like we can't trust people, I appreciate and I'm thankful that you guys are willing to burn yourselves to the ground to be a voice for people who are too scared to speak up. 2 years ago when I followed you, both of you, I never spoke at a political event and I barely really put myself out there. And I saw from both of you that it can be done. So meeting you both have taught me that there are still people out there that are willing to fight for us and for what we believe in. And as hard as it is, we can't stop. I don't think you guys realize, I know you guys actually realize, but you guys put yourselves through a lot, and I feel it's for all of us. And you're not scared to say what it is because someone needs to say it. And I feel like we need more Cat in Texas. I don't care what other people say. We need more of you guys.
We need more Nicoles too, though, because you do the exact same thing. Like, yeah, I mean, something that we might have said might have, pushed you to do, but like something that somebody else said pushed us. And like, right. If we keep doing that, man, like how incredible. And if we just get out of our own damn heads about being the one to do everything, like let's put like ego aside for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter, but everyone's doing it together. And that's when it works.
Politics are tough, but we are so much better when we stand hand in hand and arm in arm. And if we could just realize that, and we're all on the same side at the end of the day, we all want our freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys for dying on those crosses.
Don't compare us to Jesus. Some people do that, get in a little trouble.
Nicole, next Thursday, we actually have our
next Thursday, we actually do have our exorcist. And I mean, as long as something else in the universe doesn't shift. I'm not sure who we have on Tuesday. I'm going to be reaching out to some people. I have some guest ideas that I'm going to work on this weekend.
Well,
So
thank you
I've
guys.
been slacking.
Nicole, we definitely appreciate you. Appreciate your voice on not
Mhm.
just TikTok, but in general.
And Nicole will be joining us again with Stony. We're gonna do a besties episode.
Okay, and Team
Yeah.
Christmas. I saw it. I saw all them turkeys in here.
I
Like,
think